So, first of all, I'm really nervous right now. So, how many of you have experienced this that you are really proud of accomplishing something and you least expected it to happen? So many, right? So, let me tell you about the time when I got recruited somewhere and I had zero knowledge, no prerequisites, no qualifications, but I only used my own good reasoning. So there I was seated in a robotics lab, and there were so many students all acting really smart, knowledgeable, and they were seated in rows in front of the desktop computers. And all I was doing was just staring back and forth at the screen with a test on it. And the professor, who was looking as if he was judging every single student, because he was probably expecting some skilled recruits in the robotics club that year. And all I wanted to do was just make cool machines like my friend. And he was there in the club, and I'm a competitive guy. So I wanted to compete with him. I wanted to make cool machines just like him, machines that can walk and talk. But looking at the questions, I could only wonder what in the world is a spur gear? Like those associated with mechanical engineering, they might know. But till date, I still get confused what a spur gear is and what a worm gear is. So again, I was looking at the questions, the weird circuit drawings, the sketches with mechanical parts in it, and I was only in the seventh grade. This was back in 2017. And how would I know those things? I hadn't even heard those terms before. So I was staring all over the room, and then there was this guy who was vigorously typing on his keyboard as if smashing it, answering something related to connecting a differential gear to the suspension of a vehicle or something. And at that point, I felt both self doubt and the competitive urge that if he can answer something, then maybe I could try out a few questions myself. So I scrolled down to the only section that I could actually answer to the full confidence: logical reasoning. And the first question, I mean, you might have seen that question as well. So there were like 9 dots given, and you need to use only 3 lines in order to connect all of those 9 dots. So again, I somehow was able to do it, and the answer was like really stupid. Honestly, if you don't know, I'm not blaming you. So I gained some courage. I was able to answer another question that was like, you need to fit 8 queens in a chessboard without letting any of them kill each other. Again, a very weird question. So as I answered those questions, I gained more courage. I scrolled further down and I moved to the other sections. And then I heard the professor saying, 5 minutes to the paper to get over. Just write your name, class, section before submitting the answer sheet. Those are Indians. They might know this is a very common dialogue in Indian high schools. So again, I never knew anything like to the perfect part. So I just submitted the uh, answer sheet. I clicked the submit button on the screen, and then I left without discussing anything because I didn't want to feel embarrassed that someone might have gotten a question right and I got it wrong. So I left. I didn't even think about the inductions until one afternoon when I returned home from school. I saw this unread email, and the subject said Annual Robonites Inductions Results 2017-2018. And I was nervous, like I'm right now. In fact, at that time I was coughing, which is usually what I do, but I cannot cough over here. So I was nervous. And then since I was alone in the room, so I just took the mouse, hovered the cursor over to the email, and then opened it. And then at that time, I still remember it was the widest smile I ever had. Like, I was so excited that I got it from my chair and kept reading those lines that you're a Robonite, regards Pranshu, the president of Robonites. And I was excited. Like, out of all the 40 people, like 40 plus people who were actually giving the test, I, with no knowledge of robotics at all, like, I got in. And since then, I was introduced to a family that, like, that got me interested in engineering. Like, that's exactly why I'm majoring in computer systems engineering instead of any other major. So all I want to talk about is that at that point, I didn't really think about the outcome that I might get. Like it was just a test, right? It's not gonna kill me or something if I don't give it. Then that's the whole point. So you need to be confident in yourself. You need to not think about the outcome. You need not think about how good the others are. Like over here, I was seeing so many good stories, and I did have a doubt that, okay, is my story that interesting enough? And I don't know. It's up to you guys to judge. So you need not think about that. You need not think about the outcome. Most people, they perform some activities just thinking that, okay, there's this greed that they want to expect a positive outcome of it. But that is not the point. If you do it, whether the outcome is good or bad, if you like what you're doing, then that is all you should be concerned about. And that's it. Thank you.